6:16, 2 members present. You want to start with the minutes? Do you have questions on them?
Yeah, I got a motion that we accept the minutes.
Second it, all in favor?
Aye.
This abatement thing we got into, that's one that came in before. And they went over it again and gave a little bit more. I think we've done bent over backwards more than. I mean, they were happy, and all of a sudden they wanted to add another month to it and everything else. How do you feel on that?
What, did they hear tonight? No. So, did they have any reasoning behind why they wanted to add a month to it, John?
Well, they had, the way they figured it. The meter came back, the meter was, you know, within the state law and everything else. I think we bent over backwards, $129 for that. If I understand. That's it there.
No, I think we ought to just stand by what we decided before.
So we're gonna make a motion that that's what we're gonna do right there.
Do we have to make a motion on that?
Yeah, because I have to do an abatement.
Didn't we already approve this abatement?
Yeah, but they wanted the 4th month, and they went over it again.
Oh, I know, but we already approved what we already approved here.
No,
We didn't do that?
No, we postponed because they were going
Okay,
to come and review.
so we're gonna make a motion to, I make a motion that we proceed on what we decided at the last meeting as fair to these people, given all the circumstances, as opposed to adding to an extra month.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Just say that to her, so she get on it. Put it in her file. Is, Rob open? John?
Yeah.
Rob? Well, Rob, you want to go over these purchases? I signed them. Tim, if you want to go over them, look at them. This one here was for start. Another one's for another job they're doing. This was sort of break that they did up the ice cream stand there, Down River Ice Cream. They've already done it with emergency. Yeah. You say that was last weekend?
We did that the other day, Lori. Tuesday? I'm losing track of time. I think it was Tuesday.
This one here, I want him to put a different bill together for that, okay?
Okay.
What do you want different?
All right, there. Just have two different bills put together.
One for, you want one for the materials and one for the computer?
There's three bills on here.
You know, you get the sales tax, which I
Okay.
don't think we have to pay that.
No, 0. They just, If you look across, that's
But,
just, they don't charge us tax.
It was for,
Oh,
they had to pass the park on
Let me
that.
see, let me just. Okay, so this is for the water service and hot tub.
Yes.
It's just a little patch, they had a,
It's not, it's a little more than a patch, it's a repair, water service.
well, a patch for the
And a
hot
patch.
top, yeah.
Right. But I mean, they're both listed on there. if you look.
Yeah, okay.
Just so you know.
And this is T-tie sales. Okay.
The service orders are done. We got the interview with Rob, the secondary water supply operator.
Hey, Rob.
How you doing?
So,
Questions, Ron?
Made these up for you guys. My licenses.
so all these licenses you gotta renew every year?
2 years for the water licenses. Hydraulics, I believe, is 5 years, if I'm not mistaken.
2, yeah. I think that's 2. Expires in 14, must be a real estate 13.
What do you need to do to get a hydraulics license?
You just gotta take the class. The I think they hold them at Bunker Hill Community College.
Yeah,
That's basically it. The 2B anyways.
yeah. I'm glad you're applying. I think that you're a real asset to the department. And I'm glad you're a good employee, so I'd like to, can you add anything to that, Roy?
Nope, I'm just happy to have him here, and he's really taken over since all the problems we've had.
You really
We've
helped
been
us
very
out.
lucky to have him.
Right.
And I'm glad that you're coming, to this one. I think that, you got a good future here. Do we have any other candidates?
Not at this time.
Okay.
And I
So-
did submit a little letter, how much Rob has done in the last 60 days, and especially in the last 30 days.
No, he's an asset to the water department, as far as I'm concerned, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd
He's
be
been
in the
great
job.
to work with, and
And he's fit and he knows everybody here in town. And
he's very capable of doing this job and more.
we're impressed with you, Rob.
Thank you, appreciate that.
So I guess is it appropriate to make a motion to
Yeah,
accept him as this position?
yes.
Okay. I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks a lot, Rob.
Yeah, no problem. Is there anything else you need from me?
No, you've been here long enough, we know you.
Right.
Anyway.
Well, we know it, we're safe with you.
Right.
Thank you a lot.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, we did the, water safety agreement we gotta sign. Which is this one here, correct?
Right, so that's the vendor that we've been using for, John, how long, maybe 10 years?
Yeah.
And they do all the backflow testing for us and the sprinklers. And we did procure this, there's 3 other companies and they are the lowest bidder. So we just have to sign the annual contract. We do backflows twice a year and sprinklers once a year.
How many backflows do we have?
We have 60 backflow devices, and we just did a complete survey last year. And actually Rob was out the other day and found another one. So as we're out to different people's houses or situations, we add them to the list, and we call water safety, and they send somebody out to test them.
Okay.
So right here where it says accepted for town of Raleigh, that's what he wants to
Yeah.
say.
Please.
So this gets us going until next,
Next year, yeah,
the fiscal year or up to,
their calendar year, so.
very good.
There's nothing else inside of it.
No, just the package to keep it together there, Roy, for me, thank you.
Now we get the state environmental quotation
Right,
thing for the asbestos removal. You look that
so
over.
once again, they were our lowest bidder, and this is just, we signed the purchase order, this is just their agreement. So they'll, you know, go out tomorrow and pull the permits, and, it should be removed within the week, hopefully.
Okay, so we've already did the PO, I remember doing the POs, so.
Right, and there's the folder, the other companies we tried,
Is this lump sum?
yep.
And I remember seeing that. Okay. Whereabouts exactly is this?
So it's at well one, right behind well
Right
one,
behind well one?
in the fenced-in area. Um,
When are they gonna do that? You know, and they have to schedule with the DEP or what?
They pull a permit, I guess, good for 10 days.
Okay.
Once I guess they get this contract, within the 10 days, it's done.
So Roy, the next two items are really kind of house cleaning items, I just want to bring you up to speed on when you're ready.
Okay.
We had some order of conditions that go back on this building, the 401 Central Street and at Well 2. And Well 2 should be completed by next week. Camp is going to come out and do their final report for the Concom, and we'll get it.
Is that on the treatment?
Yes. So, we met the other requirements there, and by next week, Camp will be out here and we'll wrap that one up. And this building, we signed the PO tonight, we need a 50-gallon spill containment kit. We don't have one at this building. There is one at every well, just so you know. But they don't make 50 gallons anymore, so we had to do the 65. Because the truck, the big dump, has a 50-gallon gas tank in it, so we had to do the 65. The knotweed, they're gonna come out probably in the next 2 weeks and spray again, and then Camp can come out and do a final report on this building, and it'll be complete. And so we're gonna wrap these things up in the next couple of weeks and put it behind us.
What kind of a spray thing is that?
John, can you help me? It's just, they have
It's
to cut.
invasive species, Japanese knotweed.
Oh,
There's a clump of it out there,
oh,
and they wanted it eradicated. So last fall, we had them come in and do what's called the first treatment. They cut them down and they inject them with a herbicide. And, I guess it takes a couple of applications to make it stick. So the next one isn't due, I guess, until they start, according to Brent and Buddy, showing signs of growth,
Okay.
so, we'll be scheduled on that.
So this is something that has been coordinated through CCAM? Or is it us?
No, Camp is organizing this one also.
Okay.
So they'll do a final report on this one after, you know, we do the treatment.
Okay.
So it should be done in the next month. You know, we just gotta wrap these two things up.
But what I'm saying is that CCAM is
Yes.
overseeing this?
Yep, I talked to
eradication.
Pat,
Okay.
and he'll be coming out for well 2 next week, and then in a couple of weeks, he'll come out and do this building. So, and we'll get the containment kit here, and everything will be good.
We may got a purchase order for you to get the,
There is a
Containment.
purchase order for the containment
The what?
kit. You signed it tonight. US Blue Book is
oh,
where
okay.
we're purchasing that from. So that's what's going on with that group.
So what's it cost us to have a company come in and do the Japanese knotweed eradication operation?
Yeah, it's not cheap. So the October bill, I actually brought that with me, because I can't remember things lately.
They did one last October and they're gonna do one,
It was $580 for that
Oh.
treatment on October 5th.
how many knotweeds do we have out there, John?
It's,
Gaggle.
Gaggle. Did you know we had a gaggle of knotweeds?
There's a clump out there that's pretty good size. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not huge.
The old days, we threw some gas on it and burned it, right?
No.
yeah,
Things have
so
changed.
Yeah.
it's
So this, we're gonna be
EPA.
sure that this gaggle's gone?
Well, we're gonna get a schedule from them, from Green Solutions, after they do this and CCAM comes in. It might be something we have to do every few years, or we can maybe go out Brent said and cut them
I
down.
think he
And
said after a couple of treatments.
after a couple of treatments, the crew can maybe handle it.
Should be killed.
It's invasive though, you
Yeah.
know, it's one of these invasives, so we'll have to see.
Any of those gaggles over at the pump houses?
Not that we know of.
Good.
Not that we
We don't wanna use pesticides around there.
know of. No.
Oh, herbicides, I'm sorry.
There
Okay, so,
So now we get the treatment plant thing?
Yep, and John has it there ready to go. And Barbara Cook is here from Russell Sampson, if you have any questions.
is this the, we don't have this in our package, or, here we go.
Yep.
Barbara, could you go through these, so we can just get I'm sure we might get some questions
Sure.
downtown, so,
So, oh, sorry, all set?
I hope so. So,
So item 1 is there are interior walls under the main floor for different tankages, and we didn't put a water stop in there because we felt there would be very minimal, if any, leakage between some of the tankages. But it was decided to add that, and so that's what this is for. It's a hydrophilic water stop that was added. Item 2 is basically the additional time they were given to add that water stop, which was 5 days on their schedule.
so it's a zero cost?
Yeah.
Why do
Well,
we-
item 1 is a cost of $3,800 essentially, and item 2, the extension is a cost of 0.
So it's a hydrophilic bentonite water stop. Is it on the inside of the walls?
Yeah, so there's a normal water stop around all the outside walls of the tanks, so nothing would get out beyond there,
Yeah,
even with these additional water stops. But the thought was that there's a very minor chance that, you know, water could go from one tank to the other. So it was decided to add this hydrophilic water stop.
Now, who makes that calls to, that we do it? Is that something we do, or something that you people do, or?
So this actually has already been added and is done.
I mean, who makes the call that we should put that in, is what I'm asking.
I believe that John Sikora talked this over with, I don't know if it was John Reza or Jason at the time, and they felt that it was a worthwhile thing to add. So under the building, you have a pipe gallery, and you sort of have the raw water tankage and the recycled water tankage on one side, and you have the clear well and the finished water tankage on the other side. So those two would never mix because you had a true water stop along the pipe gallery there. What we're doing is within the internal tankages on those sides is where we added this water stop.
Leakage.
so it prevents leakage or cross-contamination?
It prevents leakage essentially, but it's from one tank to the other. In the original contract, there was leakage around the external walls of the tank so that it would not leak outside the building or into the pipe gallery. But it was decided to add this in the internal tankage. If you want, I can grab a set of plans. It might become a little more clear if I showed you those, but so you wouldn't, like the recycled water and the settled water wouldn't mix.
So was this based on the recommendation of John Sikora or the contractor?
My understanding is that John Sikora and I believe Jason, I'm not sure, John, if you were involved in that,
No.
felt that that would be a good idea
Okay.
to add that.
Okay, so it's like there's a safety reason for it.
It's, you know, it's another level of protection. It's a risk management thing.
Okay.
But the original water stop would protect you against everything.
Okay, so on this documentation, why would we have to add item 2 at 0? I don't know.
That's just how we typically
Right.
do change orders, is we have the item described in the first one. In the second one, we do what the time extension is for that item, and there's no related cost for that.
So it's not going to impact the schedule.
Well, we did extend the schedule from February 21st to February 26th. That's what item 2 is. It's an extension of 5 calendar days.
Yeah, I'm not really clear on understanding why we do it, but I guess there's a reason. It's an extension of 5 days,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's no consequence to it.
Well, the cost for the item is actually in item 1. There's no, there are times when the contractor can be given additional money just because he's been given additional time on the contract, and that was not appropriate in this case.
I guess item 3,
So this is upgrading the size of one of the HVAC units, the heating units.
Okay.
And there's no time extension on that.
So the change is to provide a larger makeup air unit than specified is required to meet the necessary temperature rise of 65 degrees Fahrenheit.
So this is the additional price to provide the larger heating unit.
Well, I guess the question I would have, or anybody would ask me about this, would be, why didn't we specify that size when we designed it? So is there a reason why we,
So there was a mix-up in that our HVAC subconsultant put on their schedule that they needed a unit that increases the temperature by 65 degrees. But I believe in the spec, they actually called out the model number of a unit. And the model number unit is what the contractor provided. And that model number unit does not meet the requirement of the 65 degrees. So in order to get that larger unit, the additional price is $7,800.
so if somebody asks me, why do we design something and had an error on that? Why are we spending the money on a change order to correct that error that was put into a design?
Well, when you bid this project, you bid a price for the smaller unit. And if this bigger unit had been in the design, you likely would have paid that $7,800 additional in the original contract price.
So we've got no choice, we have to use the bigger one for what we're doing.
The other unit just will not heat. So if it's 0 degrees out, the other unit, I'm not sure what the capacity is. If it's, say it will heat up to 55 degrees.
And we have to be up to 65 for,
I'm not sure. I could double check on that.
So when this went out to bid, we had a specific model number that wasn't appropriate to our needs over there?
There was, correct, there was a conflict between the plans and the specs. And when you spec a specific model number, that's what pretty much governs when there's a conflict between the two.
So your specifications were right, but when you put like a 65 horsepower engine in it, and you really needed an 85 horsepower, they came up and said you needed an 85 to do this. And so there was a
There was an
specification.
additional cost, yeah.
So you specified it one way, but then you had a different capacity unit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so to make that right, to meet the specifications, you had to spend more money on getting a bigger unit.
Correct.
Original contract.
Okay, well, we've got to get the thing specified out, right?
Yeah.
We need to have a bigger unit. Is that something that you agree with, John?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. Did you?
What's the item 4 now?
So item 4 is to change, valve chain wheel chain to stainless steel rather than hot dip galvanized. So that's the additional cost to provide stainless steel instead of the galvanized.
We really need that, do we, Jim?
I think it's probably corrosion related.
Right.
So why do we specify in the design to have a hot dip galvanized wheel versus a stainless steel wheel?
Well, the hot dip galvanized will probably be good for, I don't know, 5 to 10 years, but the stainless steel will probably be good for a lifetime, so it's
It
really.
makes sense to have something of, would last us longer as opposed to replacing it?
Yeah, I mean, that's what the call was here.
And who kind of brought this up? Was this John Sikora again?
I'm actually not sure where this came from. I'd have to go back in the record to figure it out.
Do you remember any of the construction meetings that this came up?
The chain one.
Is there any other hot galvanized parts in the treatment plant that you have to worry about?
I would have to check on that. I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay, I guess you got any more questions about that?
No.
Okay. Item 5?
So this is a credit for the 2 4-inch electrical conduits in the access drive to the treatment plant.
So we're getting the $3,478 off from Bill, correct?
Right.
So is this just abandonment versus removal?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I like those kind of change orders.
You
We all
pay
do.
for that much way.
All right, number 6.
So 6 is an upgrade on some of the SCADA equipment at the wells. The SCADA subcontractor for the contractor recommended that this upgraded equipment be installed rather than the equipment that we had spec'd. It will also give you additional capacity for any additional IO input-output points that you might want to add at the well stations in the future. So this is that additional cost to do that.
Whose recommendation was it to do this?
It was actually an RFI, a request for information, by the general contractor through the SCADA provider. They suggested that this might be a good option for the town.
Will this save the town money on this, or the department money?
In the end, it will, because it's likely that, so you won't, in say 5 to 10 years, you won't have to upgrade these units. You'll have, one of the things that happens with SCADA systems that also happens with water meter technology is the minute you bid something, there's a better product out there than what you just bid. So this sort of follows along that thinking.
And with the old one, we didn't have room in the panels for any additions, is the way I read it.
Correct, and these will give you more flexibility.
So how much are we into this SCADA system for this particular plant in our operation right now? How much of a dollar amount is that?
You mean within the total plant cost?
The department, the need down there for the SCADA system?
I think the SCADA portion of the treatment plant contracts is in the range of $300,000 to $400,000 or something like that for the entire SCADA system that runs the treatment plant.
Like controls to all the tanks and
Into here. and
temperature
everything.
controls, the wells, picks up the wells over there at well 2 and keeps, incorporates everything
Yeah,
in the operation. And also the computer software and hardware that needs to go along with it.
yeah, and I believe you guys have added some to that also, a couple of computers or something.
We already purchased them.
Okay,
Yeah,
so those
yeah.
are purchased.
That was out of the $1.3 million, the upgrades.
Okay.
Number 7.
So this is a small credit to take out the emergency shower in the lab. So this was actually spec'd under the lab and the plumbing filed sub-bid. So you're getting a credit because it was spec'd in 2 places.
We still have one there for.
You still have one, yeah.
How come it's such a small credit, that's like 250?
It's kind of combined with the next item, item 8.
Okay.
So there's a supply sink and, or the emergency eye wash there, so if you look at the 2 together, it's really a credit of about $1,100.
So when we come up with a credit like that, how do we get a number from somebody? How do they develop a number for a change order?
So the contractor proposes what the credit is. He includes a labor breakdown and also equipment. In this, there's not a lot of labor. And then he sends it to us and we review it and say, yep, that looks okay, or no, you know, we want more credit, less credit, whatever it might be.
No, by eliminating this, we're still all set for safety
Yes.
purposes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 9.
So 9 is basically additional holders within the drawers and cabinets in the lab.
Additional what?
They're label holders, so it allows for additional drawers and storage separation within the lab cabinets. I'm guessing that maybe Jason wanted this. I'm not sure where this came up. I'd have to go back and look at where that came up, but you're basically getting a better way to store things in the drawers and the cabinets in the labs.
Well, where did the price come from? It's $1,700 and
2 cabinets, 4 cabinets.
Yeah,
there's also cabinets. So
yeah, there's additional cabinets in
57
there,
label
too.
holders.
2 cabinets and 2 other cabinets.
So how many cabinets do we have total in the whole?
I'd have to look at the plans, but I mean, there's,
Actually,
yeah, I was gonna say
It's
like
huge.
30, but
It's huge.
there's a lot of cabinets there.
On these change order things, but when something comes up like that, is the time enough that like the board can look at it first before it goes out and is bought and already we got a change order, you know what I'm saying?
No, we definitely can do this. This was actually, a lot of these were approved prior, like this bentonite clay thing was approved back when they were pouring concrete, like,
It's just, you know,
Months.
what I'm saying is that
October,
we're getting the change order things and they've already bought the thing and already decided to do it and, you know, like Tim and I didn't know anything about it. is what I'm
right,
saying.
so in the past, I believe the commission had given, John the authority to approve change orders. So now that you guys are playing more of a role, we have no problem bringing these to you, and if you're meeting on a weekly basis, that won't hold up construction. The thought was that before, we didn't want to hold up construction, because then the contractor can ask for time delays. So we have no problem bringing these forward to you at this point.
What's an E40 cabinet?
I don't know off the top of my head.
So then you wouldn't know what a D30 cabinet.
No, I would not.
Will they get the plan?
Okay, so these are size of cabinets or something?
There, yeah, so an E40 might be, you know, a cabinet that's, you know, a foot wide, and a D30 might be a cabinet that's, actually it's probably 40 inches wide versus 30 inches wide or something like that.
So, is there a date on this? February 18th, 2013, but it could have been brought up at a previous, like, construction meeting or something like that? So, it's brought up at a construction meeting, the staff and your staff and Kinsman get together and then say that they identify the need, and they start talking about cabinets or label holders and stuff like that, so. Okay.
So item 10 is the additional cost to provide a shorter, wider neutralization tank rather than the taller, narrower neutralization tank.
So, why do we need a stubby tank versus a tall tank?
The information that was provided to us by the Paul membrane manufacturer basically said that this 10-foot diameter tank would fit within the building. And then when the shop drawings came through and they showed the total height of the tank, it didn't fit in the building. So at that point, we needed to change the size of the tank, and there was an extra charge by the membrane company to do that.
So, if it's the same capacity tank, why doesn't it cost the same amount of money?
We got pricing from a couple of different companies, and so did the membrane company, and it just happens to be not as standard a tank. And I guess that they get a fair number of these 10-foot diameter tanks, so they probably get them at a reduced rate. So to change it to the 8.5 foot was an additional charge.
And there was no way that the 10-foot would fit in there.
No.
So, I mean, getting back to it, the people that put the specifications together didn't put the proper height on, so you guys could design the thing, so they check the design whether it could fit in there or not, or?
We told the membrane people what the roof height was. They told us that the overflow was below the roof height, but then when we got to the point of submitting shop drawings after the job was bid, the drawing at that point showed that the total height of the tank went into the roof. So we did not ever receive any drawings that showed that when we were designing the tank, but we did tell them the height of the roof.
So, playing the town advocate here, what, could we go to them and ask them for, you know, splitting the difference because of the increased cost?
So there was actually, this is sort of the culmination of a lot of back and forth with the membrane manufacturer. So there was a lot of give and take on a lot of different things. And it ended up that this was the one thing that the town was going to pay for. All the other items, the membrane manufacturer is taking care of without any cost. So that's sort of the background to it.
So, you folks worked it out with the membrane people.
Right.
Okay.
And what is the cost?
So we come up with a total of
It's
28.
about $8,400. And, yeah, that's it. The total with credits and additions is about $28,000.
So is most of the plant, all the parts and stuff mostly ordered? Do we have all these things that could go wrong figured out by now, or?
A lot of the shop drawings have come through, but as you're constructing the plant, things come up also, so, you know, and we're, not even halfway through construction of the plant, so it's really hard to say at this point where we might be on change orders.
At 30%, I looked at that,
Okay.
with 30% completion.
I'm just curious, Barbara, so if we specified a tank that's taller than the room would allow, not that it's Weston Sampson's fault, but it's, you know, we're paying for it. Okay. It shows up on the site, and then all of a sudden it's gotta go back, and then you have to get another tank in there.
So we actually,
You caught it beforehand?
we caught it during the shop drawing review process, so technically, they can't release any of the equipment until they get an approved shop drawing. So it was caught during that early phase.
All right.
So it was never brought on site.
So what's a shop drawing?
So a shop drawing is basically the manufacturer does a drawing of the equipment that they're providing, and they have to provide all the dimensions and, basically, they have to show us that they meet our specification. And so you have shop drawings for things like structural steel, for masonry, for the membranes, for chemical feed pumps, for tanks, pretty much almost everything that's in the plant. They have to send what they're proposing to use to us to review it before it gets released and gets shipped to the site, basically.
Okay, so we're constantly looking at this and making sure.
Right.
Well,
Should we tell them
And
this?
you've been over all this, correct, then?
Do you have the credit?
Most of it,
20,
yeah.
was it 53,000 left?
Yeah, so,
I had 83,000.
yeah, change order 3 was an $83,000 credit. Change order 2 was a $1,000 credit. Change order 1 was a $19,000 add-on.
Summary,
well, I mean,
still in
I personally would like to see a lot of numbers in parentheses, Barbara. So I think that, John, we should, you know, make sure that we're, you know,
Yeah.
working that way.
Stuff here.
Yeah.
There's like
Okay, so do we need to make a motion to accept this change order so we can pass it uptown?
Right, that's the next step, so we can get it over to the selectmen.
Okay, I make a motion?
To accept it. I'll second it.
So John can sign that change order.
Okay. So we can pass it uptown.
Yep.
Besides the red pen. There it says, water.
Yeah, authorized. Yep, my name was on there because we weren't sure, John. We'll change it. Thanks, Barbara.
All set?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for coming in tonight,
Sure.
Barbara. You really cleared up a lot of things, a lot of questions.
Okay, not a problem.
Thanks.
Have a good night. Move back to our good old budget.
Revision 5.
This is it, correct?
I don't know. I'm waiting for direction as of Tuesday night. I still haven't gotten it.
So they don't tell you when you went to that meeting Tuesday night, they just go over it?
So we did go to the selectmen's meeting and they approved this budget. And then we went to the FinCom, and the FinCom had some questions. I did do some revisions based on that, but John, you talked to Karen Summit this morning,
Yeah.
so we don't need to do these revisions. So I was waiting
The
for
budget.
advice. That's where I stopped. I was
Right.
waiting for direction.
Well, we made a little bit of a change on the draft 5 at the selectmen's meeting, and then there were some recommendations from the finance committee.
I think that was over there.
So that was on the 5-year capital plan, and I did do that. And I'm putting it in different colors now. There's so many copies around here. But this is not part of what the selectmen or, so what we did was, we added $100,000 to the capital plan, for the treatment plant membrane. And so that affected that whole informational purpose sheet. So this is really a work in progress, I guess.
Well, I'm not really sure what was wanted. I called over there earlier today.
Well, as of last night, there was not a vote on the budget. That we voted on articles, but the budget was not voted on. It will be going to the printers in the meantime, so it's just going to be recommendation from the floor from the finance committee.
Okay.
The articles we did vote on,
Yeah.
all of which were voted on with the exception of 2, which were not, and that was on the special, Article 26 and 27 were not successful recommendations. All others were voted on positively.
So Jane, just so the TV, do you have your package there? Was that the unemployment? And
I'll read it. I'll read them to you. It's
Yeah.
the special. Article 26 is to see if the town will transfer the appropriation of $20,000 from 163, which was the water treatment plant interim loan, of Article 6, 2012, to be added to line 150 maintenance, and that was for the emergency certified operator services. And Article 27 was the sum of $25,000 from line 163 to, of Article 6 of the 2012 for unemployment. Those 2 articles were voted as Finance Committee does not recommend. All others were approved on the special and the annual.
Okay.
I thought we had to pay into the unemployment.
So it'll go on the warrant. I believe the selectmen approved those and the Board of Water Commissioners approved it. So I think the warrant will say approval.
It does.
And then it'll say Finance Committee doesn't recommend. So it's still a vote of town meeting.
It's not.
Everything is still a vote of town meeting.
Absolutely, it still goes before
Yeah.
town meeting. It was just looking
Yeah.
for our recommendation.
Right.
And on the regular warrant, it will say Board of Selectmen approve, Water Commissioners approve, Finance Committee recommend, Finance Committee does not recommend.
Which
So
ones are
it's-
those? Which articles are those?
26 and 7.
26 and 27, Tim, on the special.
So we'll have to, wait till after town meeting and then kind of work with the fiscal team on how we're gonna handle the situation.
Well, if it
If
doesn't
it
pass.
doesn't pass, yeah.
So,
Okay, so we'll see how that plays out. But, just so you know, I did, also do a new, water department revenue statement based on the fiscal team. But right now, that's all on hold, I believe.
Yeah.
So just so, you know, I did work out those numbers.
So that's an internal projection, is that?
I think this is gonna be in print. I haven't seen the warrant, but the one that the selectmen and the board approved is the one that's gonna be in print.
Okay,
And I did take the suggestions of the the finance.
is
and
that
we-
this one here that's in the package?
Yeah, so
Okay,
I just, using the 5-year capital plan, it increased, the projections out.
okay.
So it's, the projections are gonna have to be something we look at every year anyway. And, it's a guess, so, I did work it out, so. Okay, so, any other questions on that?
So do we have to vote on that? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
Do we have to vote on that again, or?
No, I don't think so, there's no change from what you voted on last week.
Okay,
Um,
so,
But I don't know what Jamie has maybe.
I actually have two questions that I've been asked to pose. Going back to the special Article 20, which was the transfer of superintendent rate. The question that came up is, if John takes a week vacation off, does Laura still have the authority? We understand that the authority has to be given to Laura in John's absence to sign off on things. Does Laura still have the authority to sign off on things, like if John's on vacation?
So the primary operator would be, if there was a primary, would fill in for the superintendent, I believe, right, John? Is that how it would have played out? If you're out on vacation, the primary operator would be acting superintendent.
Is that how it all would work, but
I don't know what the personnel plan says up
I mean, before, we didn't have you in the office,
So I don't know how you did it.
So, I think it went down to, next one down,
there. Right.
oh, the garage took over.
I mean, we understand that this was a catastrophic kind of situation, and they just kind of want
It has been for 6 months.
to, right, I know. But, as in terms of transferring funds to help support the superintendent, the acting superintendent, is that something that you foresee would happen again, or does Laura still have the authority to sign off on what might be needed if John's on vacation?
So I think a couple of things happened in this case too, Jamie, was it started with, I had to be given authority to sign for the state revolving fund.
Right.
So now that John's back, he's signed, that's why my name was on that
Right.
change order, now
No,
he's
I
back.
understand
So I
that.
think that's how, and then we started into the acting superintendent, because we had personnel issues here, and
Right,
it has to be a non-union person,
right.
and I'm a non-union person. So that's how I think it started.
that's exactly how it happened. because of-
So
I
I
don't
don't
think
we
foresee
can-
this situation
No, we all know there
happening,
were
yeah.
a variety of factors
I-
that came into
it was-
play.
It was also, I think, that a superintendent can't act as a primary operator. A primary operator, I don't think can operate as a superintendent, so somebody had to step forward, and Laura was
Right.
the one that was capable of doing that, because she was familiar with most of the administrative stuff here.
Right.
Knowing that we have both administrative people working with the town and also union people, it was preferable to have a superintendent that wasn't a union person to oversee the union. So it came down to how do we pay her? And I think we had to go through, and we got all our heads together and we figured out, that we could do it, but we had to come up with an article to do that.
No, and we understand that. The question was posed is if something like that occurs again, is that what is going to be the route? Or will Laura,
I think we still have to
Automatically
go to
default.
Laura, I think.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it'd probably be built as a singular situation each time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
We'll
can't
help
see
you.
it happening, like, for vacation, I mean,
No, I don't.
Yeah, I don't see that this would ever happen unless, it was,
no, I
It was
understand there was a
really-
series of events
it was
that.
the
that
perfect
caused-
storm at the water department.
Yes, exactly, that's a
Um,
great phrase. It's a great phrase. And on Article 21, there was a question, which was voted up, that was for the filing cabinets.
Yeah, I know.
If you have looked at, the state apparently has an overstock kind of environment.
We just started briefly looking at that. We have the STAR program, the Compass, off the website, and I did look there. I didn't see overstock, but there might be another, within that website, it was a little complicated
Right.
to navigate. Well, it's hard to find, and once you find it, it's hard to use. But I'm getting familiar with it. I did go to Staples and Quail and W.B. Mason. I know that it's an expense, but our situation here, and just this office alone, and my
Well, it was voted approved.
Yeah,
It was
thank
just
you.
a question that
yeah, and
that
I will
came
try,
up.
because it will all be procured,
Yeah.
it'll all go out for the 3 bids, and, the board will be a purchase order, and definitely we'll be looking for overstock items, or if somebody wants to donate a filing cabinet, then, I'm happy to take it. Our situation here on filing needs to improve. And I learned that during the public information request period.
You're generating too much paper.
We
Laura.
are, we're trying to do more computer,
So-
Are you trying to say the cardboard boxes are not working?
no.
They have handles though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry to
No,
interrupt.
that's
Thank you
okay,
for
no,
the
those are,
information.
no, I'm glad, I'm just. So I don't think we have to vote on anything, John, I don't think it changed, at
The
this point.
articles didn't change.
Nope,
or
nothing
did they?
changed.
But, well, yeah. And that's okay with downtown?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, John, you talked to them today.
So it's a revision 5.
Well,
I went to the meeting,
on the budget.
both meetings, and these two were really working hard for us, and they did a good job. And I think that we're a closer department with what we had to go through, and I think we got the good rates here as best we can, and we have to do a hearing on the rates now, right?
Yes, I put in a draft copy of the legal notice. It's in your packet
Yeah,
there. I didn't know if you want to have 1 meeting or 2, or, how you wanted to handle this.
If we send, why can't we send this out and have it, so they get posted plenty of time, and have 1 meeting, I don't know if it.
This is,
True.
typically you only had 1 meeting in the past. John, you can talk a little bit to this.
Yeah, it was usually brought up in 1 meeting.
And that's gonna be the fiscal team too?
I don't know, I put them in there. Tim, I needed some direction on this the other night too. I was looking for some direction.
Why is it 2 dates though?
I don't know. I just put in 2, I thought you said you wanted to have 2 hearings.
I don't think I
When we
remember
left
saying.
the other night, you said you want to do it twice before town meeting.
I don't think there's a requirement.
Okay.
Do you guys know anything about that? one hearing.
Okay, so I can change that. You can pick a day, and,
Why is April 30th? Isn't April 30th something else?
I have to get it to the newspaper.
No, but isn't it, April 30th something downtown?
I don't know.
For some reason that date was sitting in my head.
Oh, it's our election. It's an election.
It's election day.
Yeah, you're right.
So we don't
We
wanna do it
probably
on the
don't wanna
30th.
do it on that day, you're right.
Okay, so let's go with the 23rd.
But it only gives us,
Do we have time to advertise that in
Well,
time?
Monday's a holiday. We were just gonna put it in the town common. It's about $20 to put it in the town common, and it's $150+ to put it in the Newburyport Daily News. Do you wanna put it in both papers? It's another, you know, I need some direction.
I would think put it in the town common, what do you think? And then advertise it in usual places for public meetings.
Okay,
you know, you'll have it on your website too, correct?
right, I'll put it up on the website.
And the meeting will be here.
I put it here. I don't know if you wanted it at town hall or.
No, this is here, this is
Okay.
fine.
I'm sorry, April 30th is not election day?
Primary.
Primary, okay,
Yeah,
you're correct.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so I'm not sure why we put, I don't know why, if I said it,
I just put it in.
Okay.
There's no reason for it.
Either date's all right with me, we're not talking, that's all I know.
Or you wanna do it is there one more Tuesday before town meeting, the 6th? Roy, is there one day in May? What's the first? Or is it Tuesday? It must be the first Tuesday.
Monday is the 6th.
Monday.
well, you first, can you check with maybe Amy or Debbie to see if there's a hearing advertisement time period that we gotta follow by?
Sure.
And
The
then,
30th would be the last Tuesday that we could have it before, election.
Tuesdays seem to be fine for you.
Yeah.
My everything is chaotic with me, so doesn't make any difference, I'll be there.
Yeah, because it would be a posted meeting for the board.
And then time-wise, do you think, you guys think maybe 6, same thing? 6 is good?
What did we say?
No, that's town meeting night, May 6th.
May
No,
6th.
he meant
No,
the
6
time.
PM. 6 PM is
Oh,
the
oh,
start
the
time.
time, yeah.
Your meeting, whatever you say.
Okay, so right now it's gonna be April 23rd, and John and I will check with Dave, Debbie and Amy, see if we have to do it two nights, then we have to figure out not election.
Check the time frame.
Time.
Also, find out if, I know these two gentlemen will be here. If there's anybody like the fiscal team might,
Yeah, I wasn't sure if they wanted to be part of it or not.
well, I think it would be good if we had Karen here. But check with Karen to see if she can make that date. And also the finance committee. To see if there's anybody else at the finance committee that, you know, would be invited or, you know, would be publicized as being there. I think that's an important informational meeting.
We probably wouldn't put all those people's name in the ad, you
Okay,
know.
well, we need some help there, you know.
I haven't seen other towns put all those people. It's
Yeah.
usually the Board of Water Commissioners.
Will the full Board of Water Commissioners be there for that meeting?
I hope so. We're still working on that.
So at 6 PM here on April 23rd?
Right now, until we check with Debbie. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, Janie. Is that 2 weeks? Because next week will give us, want to advertise it, you know.
Have you heard anything whether he's gonna come
You
back?
said April 23rd?
Yeah,
6th.
so that gives us like 10 days to advertise and everything.
Yeah, you gotta, there'll be a rule you'll have to follow. Debbie could probably give you
Yeah, I'll have
that
to
to
find
Aaron.
out. We've never done
Could
this
might even be
before.
more.
I don't think we've ever done this before.
So could we have the brochure we're putting together and then maybe have that available for the people coming into the
What
hearing?
brochure?
The mailer we're putting together?
We're putting together a mailer? Okay.
What's that thing we
I
were
don't know
working
what
on
you're
last
talking
week? The what do you call it? The
You were gonna put something in the bills, wasn't you? Thought we talked about something.
Well, what I'm gonna put in
Water
the
department
bill.
report?
Oh, no, it cannot be part of the CCR. It
Right.
can't be part of that.
Okay.
That's governed by DEP.
Well, I don't know if it would be available so they could actually have that if they
No,
wanted.
that's a whole different beast.
Okay.
But,
Do you feel comfortable that that this room will be an
well, I'm worried a
appropriate
little bit
size?
about this room.
Because last year it was upstairs
Well,
in
that was,
town hall.
that was for the treatment plant.
Right.
I've already got a group of people that wanna be invited to this meeting,
Okay.
so,
How many chairs you got, Laura? This is it?
oh no, we got, we probably came around
Yeah, worse than the worst, you
10
always
more chairs.
get some chairs from the fire department, have it out in the,
Well, we could do it in the
One of the stalls,
library
right?
or upstairs, we could do it in the library.
no, but I mean, we could always use the stall out in the new garage, right? Get some fire department chairs, if
Yeah,
feels,
we
I
could
mean,
take the trucks out. Yeah.
Do you wanna,
Let's talk with
do you wanna
Deb.
work, you wanna work and try to figure out if we should have it either here or there? Doesn't make any difference to me. Roy, does it make any difference to you?
no, it's just, I mean, you got all your
You
records
folks-
here if you needed something in your room, then.
You folks make the
It's
decision.
a hearing on rates, so there's not much I need to bring.
Make the decision of where it's gonna be. I'm sure you'll make the right decision.
Whatever you
Yeah.
feel comfortable.
We'll do anything.
All right, so I'll try to,
We're here to help you a lot.
okay, I'm trying to take a day off, remember? I was on vacation this week, guys. That didn't happen yet, so we'll see. I'll try to work on that tomorrow, because I really need to get the ad in the paper next week, and Monday's a holiday. So, I'll have to find out from the town common. We might have to push it to not a Tuesday the following week. I'll have to talk to the town common again what the deadline is.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, so.
Town Commons on Sunday,
Is it
Laura.
to put an ad
Shut,
in?
yep, to
Okay.
go for the next Wednesday.
So that's
You
what I'm
couldn't do
thinking.
nothing at all this week, but
Okay.
Sunday's just, I'll tell you that.
Oh, okay.
Sunday's
Okay,
a
so I have
cutoff,
time,
so you
right?
got all week,
Okay,
and then
okay.
it'll be published next Wednesday.
Sometimes they want 2 consecutive
Well, that's what I was thinking. I think the more we
ads
can
in the
have.
paper, so I don't know. So can you check that out and just tell us, Roy and I, when we should show up, so
All right,
make sure it's
all right,
legal and appropriate, okay?
all right. So we'll work on that tomorrow and hopefully.
So we should we have a vote to say we ought to have a public hearing for rates?
Yes.
Okay, so I make a motion that Laura and John arrange the public hearing, either for that date or whenever it's appropriate for the regulations for a public hearing notice and to the local paper, and then, do I have a second?
No second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, so tomorrow we're going to be meeting with Debbie and the ACO team at 10:30. Tim, I don't know if you're available. I do have the emergency response plan completed, and I didn't make copies yet. So, if you guys want to see it, it's all.
Is everything in there that they said we had to have?
Everything is in there, okay? So it's all done and ready to bring over as a draft. But I think I'm done.
How much time did you put into this?
Well, I worked with Weston and Sampson on this one, and
That woman that was here that day?
Amy,
Amy?
yeah, Amy, yeah.
Yeah.
So, there was some legal, they had their legal counsel look at it for us, at no cost to us.
Very
But,
good.
a lot of it was updating, names and phone numbers and the 911 as we talked about last night. And now I have a PDF of this on my computer, so we won't have to use a private contractor in the future to update it. So that was part of what Weston Sampson did, was they converted a lot of these this huge charts in here, chemical information, and so now that's all gonna be on my computer, and there'll be a copy of the police department, fire department, town clerk, selectmen, the Board of Water Commissioners, this building, and all our buildings. So we need about 10 copies of this. And as people change, or, situation changes here, I'll be updating it and pulling all those books back and then giving them the new edition.
Okay, so this plan is this something we need to review and vote on it before it goes uptown?
So it has to go to DEP. So this is part of the consent order. And, we're gonna go uptown with it. So if you wanna make a
We'll probably
motion,
need to review it,
Well, I'm thinking that, we should probably, get a copy of this and review it and then vote on
Yeah,
it.
but I haven't seen anything.
Yeah. Do we want to review downtown tomorrow? Because they're gonna want us they're gonna want the board's input on this, right?
yes.
Okay, so. this
well,
meeting
your name
tomorrow-
you're the approval authority. So basically what I'm doing is giving them a draft.
So it's just a
We
draft,
still have 30 days. This is a May 1st deadline on this. So you've seen this plan before, I
yeah,
hope.
yeah,
This is your plan from 2009.
yep. This is
So-
just an updated version.
So that's just an updated version. So I'm hoping that you've seen this plan before and that a lot of it has not changed. But I will make copies, Roy. I just finished it today.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying,
5 o'clock.
if we gotta approve something, I mean, I haven't read it over.
You don't have to approve it, well, you will have to approve, there is approval in section 1, and the board will sign, I'll bring it back to a meeting. This has to be approved by the Board of Water Commissioners, there's an approval page there, and you will sign and date it. And then anytime there's a change, I will bring this back
So-
and,
See you tomorrow morning, 9:30,
So-
we'll be there.
This is gonna be on May 30th.
Quarter to 10. Yeah, I got that other
No.
meeting at 9.
well, we had April 1st, this has to be, John, this is 30 days from
Right.
Good
May
night.
1st.
May
May
1st.
May 1st.
Okay.
But I want to get it downtown and let them know what we're doing.
Yep.
Okay, so let's get it downtown and,
And you're welcome to take it home and just give it back. I'm trying to save some paper.
I'll come in and
Yeah,
look at it, okay?
Um,
In the next week.
All right,
Roy will too, so we'll look at it and then, maybe we'll get some comments from downtown.
yeah, I don't think too much is, it's very regulated.
And then Weston and Sampson's gone through it. and
Yep.
then- Okay.
Yep, and, we want to get it over there. And the next thing is Form 1 is completed, and the CCR is completed.
Okay.
To the best of my ability right now.
Okay.
So we have met, right now on the table is everything that you need for the consent order, to comply. And I-
That and this.
And I will bring that all over, John and I, or John will bring it all over tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
And,
You can read it.
and that's the same information, Roy, you had in your packet that I gave you in the book, so I hope you read it, and,
Okay, I wanna take that.
Yeah.
And then, they're getting a copy of this tomorrow. You're gonna go over this tomorrow with them.
yep, and then we're gonna bring it back to the next board meeting we have to decide who's signing it.
Okay.
We're still,
The
working
the
that
thing
out.
is, on the signing part of that, one of the papers we had in the packet last week, this is Debbie Egan and Bob Snow. We're taking everything over on the
Okay,
consent thing. So, I mean, if they're taking that part over, why aren't they signing it? I mean,
this is, Form 1, once again, is the water department's responsibility.
but I mean, if they've taken it away and they're saying that they're gonna take,
We can ask that question tomorrow,
yeah, I mean, just,
John.
Right.
All right, ask the question tomorrow, please, that, we're having some, wondering what the town's input is on who should sign this document. Okay, so then we can bring it back to the board and we can talk about it then.
Right, so we need to bring this up at that public hearing. This is gonna have to, I'm trying to organize, are you gonna meet again next week, or,
you tell us.
Well, we can have a hearing at one of our meetings, can't we?
yeah, but do we wanna, this might have to be wrapped up. Okay, we can
You
do
know what I
that.
mean? So,
So-
you don't wanna have a separate
You
meeting.
could always,
and
you
then
could
a
have
hearing.
this, say, 15 minutes, half hour before, go to executive session or something. if
No, you don't have to
wanna
go
do it.
into executive session.
Well, I mean, if you didn't want it,
Yeah.
if the same night is,
Yeah. This is all public information.
no, I didn't know if you wanted to do something before the public.
Yeah, it just,
So when you advertise the hearing, maybe just put in there that there's gonna be a meeting also. So we'll open up the meeting and then we'll open up a hearing,
okay,
conduct the hearing, close the hearing, go back into the meeting,
all
and take
right,
care of business.
okay. We can do that, sure,
Okay?
sure.
Sound like a good plan?
All right, so any comments, the sooner you can get them to me.
I will.
I really would appreciate it.
Is there anything else?
I think we
Oh,
have.
the truck, can we move that out of here?
Well, you guys were gonna go out and
already
survey
did.
it or
Did we
whatever.
get the lights off of it? Did we get tires off of it?
Tired it flat out this week with this.
But we haven't, it isn't ready to go yet.
It's-
Well, no, we can if we, get the thing, what do we decide?
Yeah, but once we, put it up with it, I mean, they're gonna come and say, well, this the light was on it when we came and looked at it, or the tires are on.
Yeah, but it's
We
gonna
get them off.
take a good week or so to advertise it or whatever, right?
Okay, so our role here is to put a value on the truck, and then I send it down to Debbie Egan, and she takes it from there.
As far as I'm concerned,
We don't advertise it, I believe we're out of the picture.
as far as I'm concerned, $500 and, with the light and the tires off.
I would say $650 because, it's
Wait a
probably
minute,
gonna.
we haven't decided where are you gonna put the tires and what truck, are you gonna switch the rims and?
That's what he was going to look for, us to see we had 2 spare tires that was
It's not gonna
down.
be, Laura, it's not gonna be a truck out there with no wheels on it, so.
I'm just wondering,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just
not gonna-
wondering
it's too-
what's,
Laura, there's 2 brand new tires on the front of it. The back ones are dead. So we wanna look and see what we had for spare tires here, if they were
Might
down.
only be one.
We can swap.
They may only be one, I'm not sure.
What's that?
I say they may only be one spare.
Well, let's, let's look and see first, and get the light off it.
No. This budget thing has just been a whirlwind.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying,
Days and days and days and days.
Yeah,
It's-
You get $600 of the tires in the front of it, if we could use them for something else, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
we have to look at Rob's schedule too, to take them off and, jack the car up and do the whole, you want us to take the tire
Well,
off?
Jerry can do that.
Yeah,
Well, if one truck has compatible tires with the other truck,
And these are
and the other truck has got 12 tires.
that's what I was thinking, take
Then
2
flip 'em.
tires, flip them, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Exactly,
that's
that's
what,
what
that's what we talked about.
Uh,
I know you weren't there, and that's what we talked about with John, so maybe, it's operations, we're just board members.
Yeah.
And,
It's
you know,
fine.
All right, so John will handle it.
Does Jerry have time to do it?
Every time, well, he's been working on the boxes there. for
Okay, so
Fire compliance.
see if he can
and
squeeze them into that, okay, so,
it's just
do I have a motion to close the meeting?
Sorry.
All in favor, I guess? Aye, see you later, thank you.